eyes in the shadows, who watches me from the darkness? Have you ever had that eerie feeling when you're lying in bed, about to drift off to sleep, but something just doesn't feel right? You can't quite put your finger on it, but you can sense a presence in the room, watching you from the shadows. Your heart starts racing, and you can feel your palms getting clammy. But when you open your eyes, there's nothing there. Or so you think. In the dead of night, when the world is shrouded in darkness, our imagination tends to play tricks on us. We become more vulnerable, and our fears start to creep in. It is during these moments that we start questioning if we are truly alone. And that's when the eyes in the shadows come alive. Meet Emily, a young woman with a vivid imagination and an insatiable curiosity. Emily loved reading spooky tales, always looking for that thrill that would send shivers down her spine. Little did she know that her own life was about to become a chilling tale of the unknown. It all started innocently enough. One evening, as Emily settled into bed, she couldn't shake off the feeling that she was being watched. She glanced around the room, her eyes darting from corner to corner, searching for any sign of movement. But there was nothing. Just the darkness, swallowing her whole. Night after night, Emily found herself in a constant battle with her own mind. The eyes in the shadows seemed to grow more intense, their gaze piercing through her very core. She couldn't escape the feeling that someone, or something, was always lurking just out of reach. Desperate for answers, Emily delved into the world of the paranormal. She spent hours researching creatures that could be responsible for her torment. From ghosts to demons, each possibility sent a shiver down her spine. But nothing seemed to fit the eerie presence she felt creeping closer each night. One day, while scrolling through an obscure online forum, Emily stumbled upon a thread about nocturnal creatures known as shadow watchers. Intrigued, she clicked on the thread, eager to learn more. The post described these beings as malevolent entities, existing solely to torment unsuspecting victims during their moments of vulnerability. According to the thread, shadow watchers had the ability to cloak themselves in darkness, making them invisible to the naked eye. They were drawn to people who possessed a heightened sense of fear or anxiety, feeding off their negative energy. These creatures reveled in the suffering they caused, thriving on the terror they instilled in their victims. As Emily read through the chilling anecdotes shared by others who had encountered shadow watchers, her mind started racing. Could these be the eyes in the shadows that haunted her every night? The more she read, the more convinced she became that this was the answer she had been searching for. Determined to confront her fears, Emily started experimenting with various methods to ward off the shadow watchers. She tried burning sage, as some suggested it had protective properties against malevolent entities. She also placed crystals around her room, believing they could amplify positive energy and repel the darkness. But no matter what she tried, the shadow watchers persisted. They seemed to grow bolder, inching closer to her bed night after night. Their dark presence enveloped her room, suffocating her with an overwhelming sense of dread. Unable to sleep and desperate for a respite from the eyes in the shadows, Emily sought the help of a renowned paranormal investigator. They arrived at her apartment armed with an array of high-tech equipment, ready to uncover the truth behind her torment. As they set up their cameras and motion sensors, Emily couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. Finally, she would have proof that the eyes in the shadows were real and not just figments of her imagination. Hours passed, and the paranormal investigators team diligently monitored the equipment, hoping to capture a glimpse of the elusive shadow watchers. Just as Emily's hope started to wane, a sudden blip on one of the screens caught everyone's attention. They watched in awe as a shadowy figure moved across the room, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly intensity. The footage sent chills down their spines, confirming the existence of the shadow watchers. They were real, and they were watching. But the investigation had unintended consequences. As the footage went public, the eyes in the shadows grew hungry for more victims. People from all around the world began reporting their own encounters, their lives forever changed by the malevolent presence that lingered in the darkness. Emily, now burdened with guilt, realized that her quest for answers had inadvertently unleashed the shadow watchers upon an unsuspecting world. She had unknowingly become the catalyst for their reign of terror, all in her pursuit of understanding. So, the next time you find yourself lying in bed, on the brink of sleep, ask yourself, who watches you from the darkness? Are you truly alone, or are there eyes in the shadows, waiting to prey upon your fears? Be careful, my friends, for once you become aware of their presence, there is no escape. Sleep tight, if you dare.